Hello everybody, welcome to episode number 70 of the Driftless Knitting podcast. My name is Jennifer. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry, and I think those are the only two social medias that I'm pretty active on for the podcast. You can find me at Driftless Knitter, and you can find the podcast if you search for Driftless Knitting under the groups tab. Now, we just finished up a knit along in the Ravelry group, so right now there isn't really too much going on, but I do sometimes post show notes, or if you have questions, there is a thread on there for kind of just general chit chat or general questions, things like that, and you can post there. And then if we ever do knit alongs again, that's where they will be hosted. I'll talk a little bit about the knit along in just a little bit, but for right now, I will say welcome to viewers who are coming back, who are longtime viewers. I am so glad you guys are here. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm hoping that you guys had a really good 2 weeks in between this and my last podcast episode. And for those of you who are watching for the first time, thank you so much, and I really hope that you enjoy the episode. If you do, at the end of the episode, I'll probably remind you again, but you can hit the thumbs up or hit the subscribe button if you'd like to, and that way you can keep up to date with my podcast and when I put out new episodes. So today is Monday, August 3rd. Not August, it is September now. I am coming to you from Cross Plains, Wisconsin, which is just outside of Madison, and it is a gray, rainy day, like pretty much all of our days have been lately. We had like 1 or 2 nice days in the last like 2 weeks, which is crazy. For those of you who aren't local or aren't aware of the news that has been going on in this area, we have been getting some pretty severe flooding. Actually, the day of my last podcast, 2 weeks ago from today, that nice, light, beautiful rain that I was talking about, well, it lasted for about 24 hours fully, and it turned into just a complete awful rainstorm that night that just circled around our area and wouldn't leave. We had like 60-mile-an-hour winds and up to like 14 inches of rain in like less than 10 hours or something like that. So we had tons of flooding. I didn't go to work the next day because there were road closures. There's still road closures all over the place. And last week, unfortunately, the area, southwestern Wisconsin, or it's a little bit north of us, so it's more like midwestern Wisconsin, they got really, really bad rains and flooding in that area, and whole towns are just devastated. Seaver's parents' farm is in that area, and they did get some damage. They lost a cornfield. You know, like the corn in the field is lost for them. They can't harvest that. They had a lot of erosion on their one part of their farm where the valley, you know, where it's in a valley, had a lot of erosion. Fortunately, though, they did not lose or have any animals get injured. They did lose power for a while, but they have a generator because of the dairy farm. They have to milk the cows, and that uses electricity. And if the power went out, that would be bad for the animals and the people. So they do have a generator. They were able to start that up, and his dad was able to keep most of the water out of the basement. Though his mom was stranded in town at Seaver's grandma's house for a good like 2 or 3 days because there was just no way she could get on those back roads back to the farm. So that was really scary. We didn't really know what was going on with his family for a while, and it was really nerve-wracking not knowing how they were doing or how the farm was. The phone lines were down for a while, and yeah, just pacing around, worrying about them and about the farm and everything. So thankfully it was better than it really could have been. It could have been so much worse. So yeah, so that's what we've been dealing with. And then it's just been continuous rain for quite a while, and we're getting even more rain today. So hopefully the flooding isn't too bad. It just keeps coming back. It like recedes a little bit, and then it rains more, and it just keeps coming back. But anyway, but we've had a good day today. Even though it was raining, today is Labor Day in the States. So Seaver has had the day off. Mondays are always my day off, so I'm always at home, but on Mondays usually. But he had the day off. We did a ton of cleaning in the apartment. It smells very clean. We even like cleaned out the fridge, like not just like throw away old stuff, because we do that, if something goes bad, we throw it away, obviously. But we actually took everything out, took the drawers out, took the shelves out, cleaned everything. Like, I don't think we've done that since we moved in. Is that bad? Most people don't like clean their fridges, like really clean them that often, right? Unless something like spills, or am I just gross? I don't know. But anyway, we did that. We mopped the floors, we vacuumed, we cleaned the shower, we did anything that could be cleaned, we cleaned it, which was kind of, really great on a rainy day. And, we were both home together, so we were able to do that together. Yeah, so that's pretty much been our day. I've done a little bit of knitting today and a little bit of reading. Seaver right now is at the climbing gym that's in Madison. He wanted to go check that out, and I wanted to podcast, so it's a win-win. Yay! But he'll be back probably in about half an hour, so I better crack on with this. I don't have much to talk about actually today. I have one work in progress. Wow, only one. I have a couple finished objects. I have an announcement, and I have a giveaway. I mean, not a giveaway. I have to announce the winner of the Driftless Knitting knit-along. So that's super exciting. And I'm saying a lot today. I'm sorry about that. That's probably really annoying, but we're just gonna go with it. All right, so first and foremost, let me show you my work in progress, which I was kind of hoping by this time would be a little further along than this, but okay, so this particular project is a sample that I'm knitting for the yarn shop I used to work at, called Yarnology in Winona, Minnesota. And this is the Petra sweater. This is by Marie Green, and it is knit out of 3 Irish Girls Adorn sock. I don't know the colorway names. One of these is called Jazz Age, but I'm not sure which color, if it's the green or the gold. And I don't even have my bag is somewhere with the actual yarn in it. I can show you this one. This is that bluey gray. I showed this last time, but just in case you didn't get a chance to watch. And I don't know, my phone on the screen, the video kind of looks like fuzzy. It shouldn't be, but it looks slightly fuzzy, so hopefully the quality is okay. But yeah, so that beautiful color, and then the gold is the complement color. I am happy to say that I finished the body of it. So there, I don't know if that's in the screen. There is the ribbing. It's 2.5 inches of ribbing at the bottom, and then otherwise a stockinette stitch body. This really cool, they call it a granite stitch along the yoke, and then a seed stitch yoke. It is knit obviously from the top down. Oh, maybe that isn't obvious anymore, but it would have been the last time you saw it because I was working on the bottom of it. And then I have the first sleeve done, or not done, cast on, and not cast on, oh my gosh, stitches picked up. Jeez, and I've been knitting it. I just started the sleeve last night, so I've gotten a fair amount done. We were watching a documentary on the Avett Brothers, which is a like American folk, new age folk band. I love the Avett Brothers. I love their music, and to see that documentary, oh yeah, it's awesome. I love stories like that. I love getting to know bands and groups, and you know, just kind of behind the scenes and learning about people, and it was awesome. And then of course you have this really awesome music. You learn about their songwriting style. You know, they're just amazing musicians in general, and it was really, really good. So we watched that, and I knit about to here, I would say. And then today, this morning, I've knit a couple more inches. I am decreasing now, and I'll knit for probably another, I have to get to, I think, about 12 inches of this stockinette, and then I'll switch to the gold, and it does have contrasting cuffs from about, they're actually really long cuffs from mid forearm down to the wrist. So I'll be knitting the gold onto that, and then trying to get that second sleeve done. I really, really want to have this done by next Sunday, so a week from yesterday, which is a little scary, but I'm gonna see my friend Lisa. She's coming down for the Wisconsin Sheep and Wool Festival, and I want to be able to give this to her to bring back to Winona. That way I don't have to ship it, and that way they can have it sooner than if I had to, you know, obviously work on it longer and then ship it there. It would be probably another week, and I want to get this to them as soon as possible. So I just have the 2 sleeves and the collar to do. I kind of forgot about the collar until this very moment, so I have more knitting than I thought. But stockinette stitch is very mindless. If we put on a show or a movie tonight or something like that, I'll just be able to crank this out. Hopefully get this, I would love to get the first sleeve done today, even though I don't know if that's possible. I am decreasing, so that means like less stitches to knit, but still, it's a lot. So if I could, that would be amazing. And then later on this week, I'm just gonna prioritize knitting. It's so easy to, you know, get caught up in other things, and especially like when Seaver's around, he wants to like do things together, and it can be a little distracting. I haven't gotten as much, like, thinking about when I used to live just with my roommate who was also a knitter. Our main like extracurricular activity besides like after work was we'd put Netflix on and we would knit like for hours, like every day. So the amount of knitting I was able to get done then contrasted to the amount of knitting I get done like now in the last couple of years of living with Seaver, who, you know, is much more active. I am not complaining at all, just for the record, but he's much more active. He wants to go out and do things. You know, he's not someone to just like lay in front of the TV, which in most cases is awesome, but in this case, when I just need to like knit for hours on end, it doesn't really work for that. So I'm just gonna have to tell him, like today, it was, you know, you go do the climbing gym. I am scared of heights, so I don't think I would normally have gone anyway, but we won't tell him that. But I was like, you know, I just have to get some stuff done. I have to podcast, I have to knit, and he knows this is on a deadline, so, you know, hopefully he can sacrifice his time with his wife. That's my only work in progress, because I did finish something and I'm not casting anything else on until that is finished. I was really tempted to yesterday because we went to a brewery to meet up with some of my family, which was so much fun. We went to New Glarus. Yeah, those of you in this area, you've probably heard of New Glarus beer. You can only buy it in Wisconsin. They're very local, like, oriented. They don't want to expand outside of the state, and it actually makes it a little more, I don't know, kind of novel. People who, I have family members in Illinois, obviously that's where I'm from, and when they come up here or they cross the state line, a lot of people stock up on New Glarus beer and take it home, and it's really funny. So we went there, it was beautiful, but I didn't really have a mindless project to knit. I hadn't gotten through the granite stitch on that sleeve, because you have to do like one more row of that granite stitch before I was into the stockinette of the sleeve. So I didn't have a mindless project, and we were going to be driving for about 45 minutes, and I didn't know how much downtime we'd have if we were just sitting around, you know, having taste testing beer or what we'd be doing. So I was a little panicky that I would want knitting and I wouldn't have anything, and I was about to cast on a sock, but I held off because the sock pattern I really, really want to knit next is not mindless, and then I would have just started another whip that I would have put aside to do with these other things. So I'm proud of myself that I resisted, but I was like that close. I was so close. Okay, so anyway, that's my only work in progress. That was, yeah, the moral of that story. And now I will show you the finished object that I have. Yay! Oh my gosh. I can kind of see through it onto the camera, and oh, it's just beautiful. So this is my new Badger House shawl, and this is one of my designs. It's based on the Hufflepuff house from Hogwarts, and this is the second one I've knit. So the first one was done out of Bumblebee Acres. Did I show you? Oh good, I showed you the front side. Bumblebee Acres Helga Hufflepuff colorway, and then this one I knit out of Dye Monkey Yarns in her Loyal Friend colorway. And this is, I always forget, is it Tap Monkey base? It's her 7525 merino nylon sock base. And I love these warm colors, that brown and gold, and this is way more true to color on the screen this time. I did lower the settings on my ring light that I now have. I love how much light it does like put onto me when I'm podcasting, but last time it was way too much. I think I had it on the highest setting and I was like white, and then everything I showed was just like totally blown out. So yeah, so this is much better. So I'll bring it a little closer, that way you can see some of that honeycomb lace stitch. And then I added some seed stitch accents. I didn't add them, they're in the pattern, but that's, yeah, when I was designing it. And then the edging is also seed stitch, and I actually doubled the amount that it called for at the end. I had extra yarn, and this skein of yarn had a little more yardage than the one I had originally designed it in. So I had extra, and I just wanted to kind of use up a little more and make that edging a little thicker, and make it a little bigger. I mean, it didn't really add that much to it, but I did double it, so it's a double thickness there. And I love it. It is so soft now after blocking, and all those lace stitches opened up. Oh, it's so beautiful. I cannot wait to wear this fall. It's just going to be a really nice accent piece. Oh, I can't wait to wear knitwear, you guys. Oh my gosh. So feels so good to have something wrapped around my neck, even though it is 77 degrees in my apartment right now. Ugh. Oh, but I just love it. I love having something like this on, and I'm gonna keep it on for, even though the purple and the brown doesn't really go together, but that's okay. We're just gonna pretend that my shirt is a different color. Imagination is a good thing. Okay, I'm done. Alright, so that's the Badger House shawl. I love it. I'm so glad I knit another one because it is such a different experience to knit one after the pattern is published and finished, rather than knitting it while you're designing, which is how I did the first one. So yeah, I enjoyed this one. Not that I didn't enjoy the first one, and I loved the yarn I knitted in. It was perfect. But this one was fun. It was almost like knitting someone else's pattern, but I still got to like be like, ooh, this is my design. It's so cool. So speaking of my designs, the next thing I'm going to show you, you've already seen. However, I am so happy and excited to announce that my newest sock design, Afternoons in the Library, is now live on Ravelry. Yay! So you can buy this on Ravelry. You can, I forgot to mention, you can buy this on Ravelry too. And let's put one of these down so I can show you the details. I absolutely love this. This was also inspired by Harry Potter. This was inspired by Hermione. And both the color made me think of her, and then I designed the sock kind of because of the color, and the kind of image and the feeling that I was getting from that. So yeah, so this is just a really pretty lace, like a lacy cable. And I think it is like the perfect combination of a little bit of like feminine laciness, but then that practicality of the rib. Did I say lacy cable? I meant lacy rib, sorry. Yeah, anyway. So that's cool. I love it. And I had some awesome test knitters knit it for me, and theirs look great. I can't wait to see. I know my friend Emily has her project page up on Ravelry. Lisa and Beth, I don't think they do quite yet, but I know that both of their socks looked awesome, and I'm just so grateful that they wanted to test knit for me again. All three of them actually test knit for me when I did my first sock pattern, which is called the Fairy Tree Socks, and I kind of put a call out. Well, I think I asked both Beth and Emily if they would, because they had before, and then Lisa, I kind of mentioned it to Lisa, and she was like, of course I will. So yeah, so that was great. But Emily did hers out of self-striping yarn, really bright colors, and they look so cool. They look so cool. So you should go check those out on the Ravelry page. If you click on, it should say like the number of projects that have been knit of this pattern, and then the original pair's on there under my account, and then Emily has her pair up as well. So yeah, so go check out Afternoons in the Library. This is a really, really fun knit, and yeah, I'm excited to do another pair eventually. I have a few other patterns that I want to knit, other people's patterns that I want to knit first, but I'm definitely going to be knitting a second pair of those someday. So, and thank you to everybody who has said such nice things about it, both on Ravelry, on Instagram. I've gotten really, really positive feedback about it. I just put these out, I think September 1st, and there's already been a few patterns sold, which it's so exciting and validating for all artists and makers. You do these things because you love them. You just love doing it, but when you try to make a little bit of money off of it, it just sort of, I don't want to keep saying it validates it, but you see that other people enjoy and like what you're making as well. I don't know, it's a great feeling. So thank you to everybody, and I hope those of you who do want to knit the Afternoons in the Library socks, that you enjoy it, and I cannot wait to see pictures. I'm so excited to see pictures of other people's socks. So please tag me on Instagram if you are knitting them, or any of my patterns. Tag me on Ravelry, post in the Ravelry group if you'd like to. I just love seeing people's projects and seeing what yarns they're using. It's just so exciting. So yeah, thank you. Okay, next, but not least, actually, I have one more thing after this. I wanted to announce the winner of the Driftless Knitting, or Driftless Knitter knit-along, because we were doing a knit-along over the last 2 months of my patterns. So you could do any of my patterns that are up on Ravelry and enter those in the finished objects thread on Ravelry. Actually, it might still be open. I should make sure that no one has posted. But anyway, I already did the random number generator. I did that yesterday, and I have the winner because it was supposed to end September 1st. So yeah, so that lasted, I think, July, most of July and August, all of August and most of July, and we had a few people posting their finished objects. And yeah, it was really cool to see what everyone is making. We had a few people knit hats. Kate knit the Badger House shawl, and I think, oh, what's your rabbit? Squirrel something. Oh, I'm sorry, and I forget your name. Oh my gosh, that's terrible of me. You knit the frozen leaves, and she kind of doctored it a little bit to make it like a garter stitch with more open eyelets in it, which I thought was awesome. So yeah, so we had a couple shawls being made, a few hats. It was really cool to see all of your projects. So thank you so much for participating. For anybody who participated and posted, it was really, really fun. We do have a winner though, and the winner, let's see, the prize that you're going to win is this adorable project bag. And this is a project bag that kind of cinches closed like this. This would be a great sock bag or, you know, hat bag. So that's super cute. And you're also going to win this beautiful, beautiful skein of Abacus Dye Works. And this is my friend Lisa's yarn. She is, oh, that's gonna blow out pretty badly probably. There we go. Abacus Dye Works. She used to be Three Sisters Fiber Company, but she has rebranded. And this is the H2O colorway on her balanced sock base, which is an 80% merino and a 20% nylon. I love this. Fun fact, Lisa, when she test knit my socks, she knit it out of this colorway. So hopefully she posts a picture soon because I want to see them, because this colorway is gorgeous. But this prize is going to post number 3 in the finished objects thread, and that was Kate. I forget what your Ravelry name is. It's like Kate Peroni something. Kate. Anyway, I'll post it and on the bottom here, and I will message you that you won. And I'm sure Kate is actually local. She comes into the Knit Circus store fairly often, so I should be able to give it to her, give it to you, Kate, at some point. Or I'm not sure what day you're going to the Wisconsin Sheep and Wool Fest, but if you're going on Sunday, which is when I am going, for other people's reference as well, maybe we could meet up and I can give it to you then. But yeah, so thank you everybody for participating, and thank you, Kate. I can't wait to give this fun prize to you. It's very deserving. Kate knit the Off the Wheel hat, one of my hat patterns, out of Knit Circus Ringmaster, which is a worsted weight actually. Knit Circus Ringmaster in the You Win or You Die colorway, which is a Game of Thrones themed colorway. So that was really cool, and it was fun to see how it knit up in a gradient as well. So yay! Okay, the very last thing I have today for you guys, and wow, it's only been half an hour. This is going to be maybe a short episode, which I kind of had a feeling it was, but I could not resist ordering something last week. So bad. I have the festival coming up. I have been saving for that. I have my little reserve of fun money that I'm going to take with me. But this popped up on my newsfeed on Instagram, and I could not resist it. I could not. I mean, I was physically incapable. I did for about half an hour, and then okay, so let me get into the details. So Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarn and the Girls in the Yarn Cafe podcast posted on her Instagram that she was doing a last run of a couple colorways because they were just too difficult to dye. She was kind of discontinuing them and kind of simplifying her dyeing schedule, so she wasn't going to dye these anymore. And one of them was the beautiful Farmer's Market colorway, and I saw it and I was like, you know how you are when you see something that speaks to your soul. So I really wanted it, but I'm like, no, I'm going to the festival soon. I can't be buying yarn. I don't need it. So this was on my lunch break at work. So I kind of shut it down. I ate my lunch. Seaver might be back. I ate my lunch. I closed my phone. I was fine. And then about 20 minutes later, I was like, I bet it's already sold out. I bet she already posted it. It's been 20, 25 minutes, half hour. I bet it's sold out. And I'm like, I might as well just check, because if it's sold out, then I won't be tempted. I went on there and it wasn't sold out yet. And that was it. I saw that there's still some available, and I just, before I knew it was happening, I added it to my cart and I bought it. But I have no regrets, none whatsoever, because look at this yarn and look how intensely gorgeous that is. Yellows, oranges, greens, even like the base of this is like a sky blue. I mean, I don't even know how to describe how much I love this. That mossy green in there and those, oh my gosh. It's crazy. It's crazy how much I love this. And this is on her lower base, which is a 85% superwash merino wool and 15% nylon. It's 436 yards, 100 gram. Again, the colorway name is Farmer's Market. I don't know if you can, try and block that light. Oh well. Yeah, and this is actually the base I've been wanting to try. I love an 80-20 base for how soft it is, but I've heard her and her mom Christy on their podcast talk about their 85-15 bases, and it's just as soft as they said it was. It literally feels like cashmere. It's incredible. So I don't know what I'm gonna knit out of this. I don't know if it'll be a shawl or if it will be socks. I am thinking I have this one and a pumpkin spice latte or pumpkin spice colorway from the Sixpence Moon, or the Moon and Sixpence. It's one or the other on Instagram, and then the other one is the name of her Etsy shop. Anyway, I wanted to use that yarn for my fall socks that I knit, but I'm thinking it's only September 3rd, I'll probably have time to do a couple pairs of like fall themed socks, especially because in 2 weeks we're going on a road trip to New York State, which I'm so excited about. Anyway, I'll talk about that at some other point, but I'll have a lot of card knitting, and I really, really want to use this sooner rather than later. So I'll have to pick out what patterns I want to use. I'm pretty sure I'll do one of them in Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast, her sock pattern on the hill. That will be either used for this one or my pumpkin spice yarn. Yeah, I still can't get over this. I have had it sitting on the end table for about 4 days now, 4 or 5 days, and every time I see it, it just makes me so happy. Oh, that blue, look at that blue there. It's so perfect. Can you be in love with a yarn? Because I think I am. So good. So Tristan's website again is dragonhordyarnco.com, and it might not wash it out because it's, or maybe it won't even focus, but anyway, I don't know. Should I like do that thing that everybody does, like covering their face, cover my face with the yarn? I don't know. Anyway, it's beautiful, and I'm gonna stop gushing about it because you've probably heard enough, but Tristan's yarn is amazing, so go check her out. She has some awesome fall colorways. I am dying to get my hands on more, but I'm holding off because we are going to have Dragon Horde yarn at Knit Circus for a trunk show in October, and I am so stoked. I am so stoked to see all of her yarn in person. I mean, not all of it. I'm sure there will be colorways that she doesn't send to us, but I cannot wait to see it. it's going to be awesome. So if you want to see Tristan's yarn in person and you're not able to get to any of the shows that she's vending at, then drive to Knit Circus. If you're, if you're across the state or across the country or across, the nation, that's the same thing. Across the world, obviously you can't, but if you're local, if you're kind of in the area, stop by. It's worth it, believe me. Yeah, it's awesome. So, okay, I'll stop. Oh gosh, this podcast episode is gonna be interesting, to say the least. Okay, I think I have babbled on long enough. Even though this episode is shorter, I feel like, I've talked nonsense for long enough. So, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't yet. And I cannot wait to come back and share with you all of the fun nitty goodness that I do over the next week or so. I'm trying to decide when I'm going to podcast next. We are leaving for a vacation in a couple of weeks. So I might actually, if I have time next Monday, a week from today, I might podcast again. I'm hoping to have, obviously, a finished object by then, and maybe a new cast on, maybe. And also maybe some goodies from the Wisconsin Sheep and Wool Fest, which I'm going to next Sunday, or actually this upcoming Sunday, because it's Monday right now. When you have weekdays off, it feels really weird, and it doesn't feel like the week starts until, Tuesday. So, yeah, but, so I might come to you next Monday, and then there might be a bit of a break, maybe a 2-week break again. So, but I don't want there to be a 3-week break. So unless I am super swamped with things, I will podcast again next week. So thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. And my light just went out. Oops. It's telling me it's time to be done podcasting. Please do things that make your heart happy, and I will be doing the same. I love you all very much. Bye.